Hello everybody. Today I'm going to be talking about credit worthiness and the importance of credit worthiness in North America. Your credit worthiness is measured based on what we call the credit score. It ranges between 300 and 900. The higher your credit score, the more willing people are to trust you. If your credit score is low, people don't trust you. It's as simple as that. Banks, landlords, and a lot of businesses use credit score to see if they can actually trust you that your word is your bond in North America here. It is important to understand the concept of credit in this market so that you will have a smooth life. Otherwise, life will be very tough if the credit score is very low. So, new immigrants coming to Canada, for instance, or to the United States need to be extremely careful and watchful of their credit score. How do you build a good credit score? Very simple. Buy what you can afford. If you cannot buy what you can afford, or you think you're going to be owing, make sure you meet your debt obligations. As a matter of fact, the ideal situation is that you don't even take any form of credit to buy anything at all. But in North America here, and in life in general, that's almost impossible because not every one of us is born into a rich family. Sometimes we just need that credit, we need that help, a little bit of push to help us to get to where we need to get to. So what are the consequences of bad credit? Because bad credit is like a stench that follows you all around wherever you go in this part of the world. Landlords will not rent to you if your credit score is low. You're going to need help from some other people. Banks will not extend any credit facility or even credit card to you. And even if they offer you credit card, it's going to be at a high, very high interest rates. Car loans will become very difficult for you to get, especially if you need a car to get from point A to point B and you don't have enough money to buy a car. So how do you maintain good credit in this part of the world? The simplest way is to get a credit card and make sure you use that credit card responsibly. Make sure you're paying your bills on time and you're not just paying the minimum payments, because as much as possible you want to avoid paying interest. Number two, make sure you're not buying what you don't need, because needs are separate or different from wants. Number three, be careful about taking on loans for things that depreciate, like a car, for instance. Make sure you buy a car that you can afford. You don't have to drive what every other person is driving. You don't have to drive a Mercedes just because your neighbor is driving a Mercedes. You don't have to drive a BMW just because your neighbor is driving a BMW. And you don't have to drive a 2021 car just because you want to show people that you have arrived. I remember the first car that I got in this country. I was a PhD student when I got that car. It was a Jalopy. It got me from point A to point B. That was all I needed at that point in my life. I didn't need a flashy car. So be careful what you allow other people to get you into. And then one other thing that you want to avoid is don't buy clothes on credit. A lot of people do that because you want to use the latest designers. As a student, I was happy wearing used clothes. I used to go to used clothes stores to buy my clothes. It was good enough for me. I didn't really care what other people thought about me. So it was not my goal in life. My goal in life was not to make other people happy with me. I had a plan in mind. By the way, I bought my first house in the year 2010. And what made that possible for me was my credit score, because I had no down payment for the loan. But I had a very good credit score, and that was why the bank was willing to extend a loan facility to me at the lowest interest rate, because I had a pristine credit score, right? I was married and I had a baby and I had a wife, and we had responsibilities. But my rent was high. My rent was around $1,300. And by the time we were able to get the small house that we started with, my mortgage was around $800. So $500 less than what my rent was. So it made a lot of sense for us to get a house at that particular point in time. And may I say this, people want to buy their first house and they want to go big or go home. You don't have to do that, because you're running your own race. You're not running other people's race. And so don't overextend yourself. I keep using that word. Don't overextend yourself and bite more than you can chew. Just start small and you will get elevated with time. So let's get back to the credit score. The credit score ranges between 300 and 900. If you have a credit score of between 741 and 900, it is considered excellent. It means banks are willing to do business with you. It means everybody is willing to do business with you because they trust that your word is your bond. You do what you say you will do. If your credit score is less than 659, that is a dangerous place to be in this part of the world. Except you don't want to do business with anybody and you just want to, live your own life. Or maybe you were born into a rich family and that is not a problem for you. But if your credit score is below 659, you will find life very tough in this part of the world. So I hope you've learned something today about the importance of your credit score. If you have children, make sure you teach them about credit and about the importance of ensuring that you're not spending money that you don't have or that you cannot afford to pay back if you're spending other people's money. Have a wonderful week ahead. Talk to you again next time. Bye-bye.